my senior year of high school in Oregon, the minds of my best friend Mike and I revolved around one single thing: how to score a date with the most popular girls in school. As it happened, Mike managed to convince Jessica, the school's prom queen, and her best friend Chloe to hang out with us at Blackwood Beach that night. It was an isolated beach, far from town and completely devoid of streetlights. Our plan was simple: split up. Mike would walk along the dunes with Chloe, while I'd get some alone time with Jessica. Jessica and I walked near the water's edge. Everything was going incredibly perfectly. We were laughing, chatting, and I thought I was about to hold her hand. Until Jessica suddenly froze. "Do you see that over there?" She pointed towards the pitch black waves. I squinted but saw nothing, so I laughed, intending to tease her. I took a few steps further into the freezing Pacific water to get a better look. And that was when my blood ran cold. Under the dim moonlight, about 20 meters away, something was standing in the water. It wasn't a wooden post or a swimmer. It had 4 legs, scrawny and elongated like spider legs, planted deep into the sandy bottom. But the most terrifying part was its neck. A long, hairless neck arched upward, and on top of that neck was a human face. A pale, distorted face with pitch black eye sockets, staring right at us. It didn't blink. "Oh my God, what is that? Let's go, please, let's get out of here." I grabbed Jessica's hand and ran back up to the dry sand. I tried to convince myself it was just an optical illusion caused by the fog. We sat hidden behind a large rock, gasping for air. Suddenly, the phone in my pocket vibrated frantically. It was messages from Mike. Since I had no signal near the water, I was just receiving them now. "Where are you? Something is watching us. It's not human, I swear. It's crawling on 4 legs. Its neck is so long. Get to the car now." A chill ran down my spine. The enemy wasn't drifting out at sea. It had come ashore and was hunting us. I gripped Jessica's hand tight. "Run to the car, right now." We dashed through the dark. When we got near the Jeep, Mike and Chloe were already there. Chloe was sobbing uncontrollably, and Mike's hands were shaking with the keys. Get in the car." The exact moment we slammed the car doors shut, a sound tore through the night. Jump scare. A piercing, deafening shriek. A mix between a baby's cry and a wild beast's roar. The sand outside the car window rustles violently. From the darkness over the hood, a pale human head stretched up on an abnormally long neck. Its pitch black eyes pressed against the windshield. It opened its mouth, revealing rows of sharp, saw-like teeth, dripping with a foul ocean liquid. Mike slammed on the gas. The car roared, lunging forward and knocking the creature onto the road. We sped away at breakneck speed, none of us daring to look back. That night out ended in complete silence. No one spoke a word the entire drive back. We never called the cops, because who would believe that a 4-legged monster with a human face lives in the ocean? Since that day, whenever someone asks me to go to the beach, especially at night, I decline. Because I know, beneath those pitch black waves, there are things that don't belong to the human world, and they are always watching us. Be careful the next time you step into the ocean at night. Thanks for listening. My family had a tradition of renting a vacation home in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, every summer. The area is known for its endless, uncrowded stretches of sand. I was 19 that year, and my youngest sister, Emma, had just turned 9. Late one afternoon, while our parents were prepping dinner, I took Emma down to the beach to catch the last rays of sun. The beach was practically deserted. Emma asked if she could go down to the water's edge to collect seashells. As the older brother, I told her not to go past her knees and to stay in my line of sight. But at that moment, I was deeply engrossed in setting up my tripod to shoot a sunset time-lapse. I had my earbuds in, scrolling through my phone, completely lost in my own world. I swear I took my eyes off her for no more than 3 minutes. When I looked up, Emma was gone. I frantically scanned the entire beach. Nobody. I sprinted down to the water's edge, screaming her name until my throat was raw. My heart sank into my stomach. My mind jumped to the worst-case scenario. She had been swept away by the undertow. I lunged into the freezing water, swimming out a bit to search. And right as I surfaced, I saw it. About 50 meters away, a mid-sized black catamaran was anchored. There was absolutely no reason for a luxury boat to be anchored so quietly in such shallow, isolated waters as it was getting dark. An overwhelmingly dreadful gut feeling urged me forward. I swam frantically toward the boat. The closer I got, the more I noticed the lower cabin curtains were drawn tight. I grabbed the stern ladder and stealthily climbed onto the deck. When I pressed my ear against the hatch door, my blood boiled. I heard Emma's voice. She was whimpering, and there were the whispering voices of 2 grown men. "Don't cry, little girl. Your older brother asked us to bring you up here to play. Just finish this glass of juice and we'll take you back, okay?" I didn't hesitate for a single second. I kicked the door open and barged inside. The sight before me made me want to commit murder. Emma was cowering on the couch, soaking wet. 2 strange men, arms covered in tattoos, stood next to her. The moment one of them saw me, he smirked awkwardly. "Whoa, easy there, buddy. We saw the little girl swimming too far out, so we just pulled her aboard to keep her safe." I ignored him. Emma burst into tears when she saw me. I lunged forward, snatching Emma into my arms. The other guy took a step forward, blocking me from the door, his eyes turning cold. I grabbed a glass liquor bottle from the table, smashed the bottom against the edge, and pointed the jagged neck straight at them. "Move out of the way, or I'll bury this in your throat." They hesitated. Seizing the chance, I dragged Emma frantically up to the deck and, without hesitating, grabbed her and jumped straight into the pitch-black water. I swam with every ounce of strength I had, not daring to look back even once. When we reached the shore and ran back to the house, my dad immediately called the police. The Coast Guard was dispatched that very night, but when they arrived at the coordinates, the boat had vanished without a trace. The police told us we were incredibly lucky, as it was highly likely a child trafficking ring operating along the coast. My few minutes of carelessness almost cost my little sister her entire life. The cold stare of the man blocking the door that night still haunts my sleep to this day. Always keep an eye on your kids, because monsters don't just live in the deep woods. This happened last November. My girlfriend, Sarah, and I decided to rent a stunning cliffside glass house in Malibu to celebrate our 3-year anniversary. The house was completely isolated, at least 10 miles from the nearest neighborhood. Due to a delayed flight and terrible traffic, We didn't arrive until almost midnight. We were both dead tired. We tossed our suitcases in the corner of the living room, didn't bother turning on all the lights or checking the other rooms, and went straight to the master bedroom on the ground floor to catch some sleep. The bedroom had a massive glass wall looking straight out at the ocean. Since there was no one around, we didn't bother drawing the curtains. I was just dozing off when Sarah slapped my shoulder hard, her voice trembling. "Babe, on the second floor, a light is on." I jolted awake. From our bed, looking out at the glass patio, I could see the reflection of the upper floor. Sure enough, the hallway light upstairs was on. But what made my skin crawl was a dark silhouette cast perfectly on the ceiling, pacing back and forth lifelessly. I signaled for Sarah to lock the bedroom door and call 911 if she heard anything strange. I grabbed a heavy iron fireplace poker from the corner and slowly made my way up the spiral staircase leading to the second floor. When I reached the top, the hallway light was still on, but the shadow was gone. I held my breath, shoving open the door to each room. Bathroom, empty. Guest bedroom, empty. I even threw open all the closets. Nobody was there. I breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe it was just headlights from a distant car creating an illusion. I turned off the hallway light and walked back downstairs. I reassured Sarah that the house was completely empty. Exhausted, we lay down and closed our eyes. About 10 minutes passed. The silence of the cliffside house was broken by a tiny noise. It didn't come from the second floor, not from the living room. It came from right beneath our mattress, under the bed. Sarah went completely rigid. She squeezed my hand so hard her nails dug into my flesh. We didn't dare breathe heavily. With the stupidest recklessness of my life, I turned on my phone's flashlight, slowly slid to the edge of the bed, and shined the light into the darkness below. Curled up amidst the thick dust, less than half a meter from my face, was a gaunt, foul-smelling man. His clothes were ragged and filthy. In his hand, he was tightly gripping a mud-caked hunting knife. He wasn't panicked at all about being discovered. He widened his cloudy eyes, stared right at me, and let out a massive ear-to-ear grin, revealing rotting black teeth. I screamed, shoving the mattress upwards. The guy shot out from under the bed like a giant spider. He didn't lunge at us. Instead, he grabbed a chair, smashed the glass balcony door to pieces, bolted straight into the pitch-black night of the cliff, and vanished. We frantically grabbed our car keys and fled the house right in our pajamas. When the police arrived the next morning, they discovered something that made my blood run cold. The man hadn't broken in from the outside. Under the large rug in the living room was a hidden trap door connecting to an old storm drain system. He had been living squalidly beneath that house for months. He knew every corner of the house, every sound. When I went upstairs to search, he took the opportunity to slip down to the bedroom and crawled right under our bed. He just lay there, listening to us talk, listening to us fall asleep. What did he want? To rob us? Or something worse? The police never caught him. Since that night, I never rent Airbnbs or isolated vacation homes anymore. And most importantly, I always use a flashlight to check under the bed whenever I enter any bedroom. Please lock your doors tight tonight.